What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. I'm here to give you another fantasy matchup this morning. This one from another one of my subscribers, Paul8770. This one is a catchweight match. I'm not the biggest fan of catchweights, but he did say like 164. I'll say 166. Joe Calzaghe versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I'm gonna say 166 because I really doubt that Joe Calzaghe could even made 164 in his prime, or when he was on top of his game, like during the Jeff Lacey type era. So I really don't think he could have made 164 pounds. I think there's a couple times when he weighed in at 166, and so I'm just gonna say 166. But I am not the biggest fan of catchweights. No, but at the same time, both of these fighters were top fighters in their divisions. Hagler probably one of the greatest middleweights of all time, and Joe Calzaghe is probably one of the best super middleweights for right now. It depends on if he. I highly doubt that he'll come back to boxing and fight the winner of the Super Six. So we'll just leave it at that. But Joe Calzaghe versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Overall, Joe Calzaghe has a good work rate, good hand speed. But I think that's what got him by in his career was his hand speed and his work rate and good stamina. I think that's what pretty much kept him at the level he was in. The fact of the matter is this: we can't really test Calzaghe against fighters of the golden era, such as Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard and all these other fighters. It's hard to put them against each other because of the people that Calzaghe has faced. I'm really not too familiar with a lot of the fighters that Joe Calzaghe has faced, other than Jeff Lacey, Peter Manfredo, Chris Eubank, Omar Shika, Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins. But at the same time, Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones were at the end of their careers. And Peter Manfredo is pretty much a B-level guy, or C-level. And Saki Obika actually gave him some trouble. But I will do this fight anyway. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, very good fighter. Like I said, one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Marvin Hagler, one of the best chins in the sport of boxing. Only went down one time in his career. So he could fight. He could fight orthodox. He could fight southpaw. He could box you on the inside, box you on the outside. So all that is an advantage just because he has a better arsenal than Joe Calzaghe, because Joe Calzaghe, like I said, had good stamina, good work rate and good hand speed. But I think that Marvin Hagler's footwork was more superior. I think that his punching power, of course, was more superior. I think his skill was way more superior. So the whole fight, I think that Marvin Hagler would actually just brawl with Joe Calzaghe and just rough him up, because we never seen Calzaghe just roughed up by anybody. You can make the argument that Kessler kind of roughed him up a bit, but Kessler, Kessler didn't get the job done against Calzaghe. I thought he Kessler kind of faded, pretty much faded. But this is a fight from the 15-round era, so Hagler will probably get stronger, as the rounds progress. Because you have two fighters that are not going to get tired. So overall, I'm gonna go with the fighter with the better skill. It's not really much to say about this fight, other than Marvin Hagler is very skilled. Was very fundamental. When you're a fundamental boxer and you're highly skilled and you have a high boxing IQ, you could beat any boxer. But I think that there were times that Hagler didn't fight too smart. There were times he was standing and engaged with fighters, but I think in this fight, I think Hagler would knock out Joe Calzaghe in the 8th round, 7 or 8, because he does put his punches together very well, and at times when Hagler would land, it wasn't just one shot. When Hagler would land a shot, there's another shot coming after that and another shot coming after that. So I think the fact that Hagler could pretty much fight different styles and change him up in fights. He could box with Calzaghe and get himself a decision, or he could rough him up and knock him out. Or he could fight southpaw, and give Calzaghe some trouble, or fight orthodox, and it'd possibly be a closer fight if he stood and just fought and boxed the orthodox. But Calzaghe, he kept his hands low, stuff like that. His defense was a bit suspect, but he got away with it because of his hand speed. But I just think Marvin Hagler would knock him out in 7 or 8. Because I think Hagler is going to be coming, the whole fight coming forward and pretty much just roughing up Calzaghe and I think eventually knocking him out. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this matchup. Feel free to send me a fantasy matchup and I'll break it down in video. But anyway, that was Distance. Peace.